Hello student, welcome back to again the computer science paper 2. Your very own CS2 ma'am, Jyoti ma'am. So let us begin. Chapter number 1, Introduction to Microprocessor and Organization of 8085. Session 5. So already we started with chapter number 1. We have completed till now 4 sessions. In first session, we have seen what is microprocessor, the function of microprocessor, the block diagram of microprocessor, then evolution of microprocessor. Then second session, we have seen the pin diagram of 8085. We have started, it is a 40 pin IC. We have started with the first 20 pins. Then we have seen the explanation for the first 20 pins. I think you remember that very well. X1, X2, reset out, SOD, SID, trap, then RST 7.5, RST 6.5, RST 5.5, then INTRA, INTA bar, AD0, AD1, AD2, AD3, AD4, AD5, AD6 and AD7 VSS. So we have completed this and with their explanation in detail. Then in the next session we are done the half of the out of 20 we are done till 36 pins. So let us see which are there. So then 21 was A8 A address, higher address, A8, A7, A9, A10, A11, A12, A13, A14 and A15 till pin number 28. 29 was the status signal, that is S0. 30 ALE, 31 was write bar, 32 read bar, then status signal S1, 33 pin number 34 IO slash memory bar, 35 ready, and we have seen till 35. Now we'll see the remaining 5 pins of 8085 in detail. So let us proceed for the section number 5. So the functional pin diagram of microprocessor 8085. Microprocessor is a 40 pin IC. So we already studied the 20 pins and then in the next session we have seen from 21 to 35 pins. So already we have seen 35 pins in detail with their explanation. Uh, Student, in exam the question comes, draw a functional pin diagram of microprocessor 8085. So you have to draw the pin diagram, label it and show the arrow, incoming arrow and outgoing, which pins are from the microprocessor to the peripheral or input output devices. So you have to show the proper arrows. See, this address are going out from microprocessor to the peripheral devices. So you have to show the arrow properly for 4 marks, or the question comes, describe in brief the function of the pins in any 3 pins that they will mention in the exam in 8085 microprocessor. Is it clear? So let us see the remaining pins. After ready, the 36 pin number is referred as, labeled as reset in bar. It is an active low signal. 37 is clock out. 38 is HLDA, hold acknowledgement. 39 is hold and 40 pin is VCC. So these remaining 5 pins we'll see now in detail. Reset pin number 36, reset in bar. It is active low signal. So and it is input to microprocessor. So whenever we receive a signal on this pin, a 0, a low signal, so the microprocessor will come to know that the system is to be resetted. Immediately it sends a output signal, reset out signal. It is connected to the peripheral to reset when the microprocessor is reset. So this reset out is connected to the peripheral and the peripheral device will get reset as when the microprocessor is resetting. So whenever you press the reset button or control or delete button from the CPU, from the keyboard, then this becomes low and the microprocessor resets out, and this is given to the reset out signal to the peripheral devices to reset. So when the signal on this pin goes low, the program counter is set to 00H. The buses are in try state and the microprocessor unit is held in reset condition as long as reset is applied. This also resets the your interrupt enable. So it also resets the interrupt enable. So that is nothing but reset in pin number 36 and reset out. They are connected. Okay, pin number 3 and 36. The clock out pin number 37, it is output, so clock out. So here it is related with x1 and x2. X1 and x2, as we seen earlier, here we connect a crystal which is giving the clock to the internal circuitry of the microprocessor. So that is a clock out. So clock out is nothing but square wave pulses, right? So why this clock out? This clock out is given to the peripheral devices. The whole circuitry is synchronized with the clock. The speed of the system depends on the clock frequency. So when I told you that the crystal's frequency should be twice the frequency of the microprocessor. If the microprocessor frequency is 3 megahertz, then we are going to use a crystal between x1 and x2, that is pin number 1 and 2, that is nothing but of 2 times, that is 6 megahertz, right? So the speed of the system depends on the clock frequency. So clock out pin number 37, it is output pin for synchronization. Pin number 38, hold. It is an input pin. Pin number 38, hold input pin to the microprocessor. It indicates that the peripheral such as DMA, what is DMA? Direct memory access controller request for the use of address and data lines. See, this DMA is direct memory access. The name direct memory access means without taking the CPU in between. So the memory, when the data is to be transferred from IO devices to memory, so instead of going through the microprocessor, the DMA takes the control and it transfers the data from input devices to memory, but it requires the address bus and the service of the address and data bus. So DMA requests microprocessor to release its address and data bus so that it can do a direct transfer from input output devices to memory. This increases the speed. Okay, so DMA is nothing but for direct transfer from input output devices to memory. नहीं तो क्या, it will go input output devices first will inform CPU, that is microprocessor, and from microprocessor to memory. So instead of that, it is directly from input output devices to memory. So that is nothing. The hold pin is used to request the microprocessor for DMA transfer. Received a hold request. Once it receives the hold request on this pin, the microprocessor releases the uses of bus as soon as the current machine cycle is completed. So as soon as its instructions is completed, the current instruction is completed, the microprocessor releases the buses to the DMA, and the processor will regain this bus after the removal of the hold signal. So when this signal goes low, it will get the control of this buses again. So that is hold signal. So it is related with direct memory access, having received as soon as the current machine cycle and the processor regains the bus after the removal of the hold signal. So pin number 39, HLDA, output signal from microprocessor. HLDA stands for hold acknowledgement. It is a signal for hold acknowledgement. Hold acknowledgement is an output indicates to the peripheral that the hold request has been received and the microprocessor will release the control of the buses in the next clock cycle. The processor uses this pin to acknowledge the receipt of hold signal. So after the removal of the hold, the request HLDA goes low. Okay, and when HLDA signal goes high, the address bus, data bus, read, write, IOR pins are all in try state. Clear? So after removal of this hold, the request HLDA goes low. Clear? So that is nothing but HL hold acknowledgement. So hold and HLDA are related to each other, right? The control of these buses goes to DMA controller. Once the microprocessor releases the control, it goes to DMA controller. The control remains at DMA until the hold pin is high. Till the hold pin is high, the buses remains with the DMA controller. When the hold goes low, the HLDA also goes low and the microprocessor takes the control of these buses. Clear? So whenever there is a data transfer from input output to memory, so instead of using the microprocessor, we do it by direct memory access controller does the transfer from input output devices to memory, but it requires the service of the buses, right? So these pins are used for that purpose. So the last pin of the 40 pin IC, that is 8085, that is nothing but the 40th pin VCC. So pin number 20 is VSS and pin number 40 is VCC, plus 5 volt and ground. So the plus 5 volt power supply is connected between 40 plus 5 and ground is connected to pin number 20. So 8085 works on 5 volt power supply, right? It is connected between pin number 40 and pin number 20, right? So microprocessor 8085 has two type of interrupt. We have seen hardware interrupt. There are 5 hardware interrupt. They are trap, RST 7.5, RST 6.5, RST 5.5 and INTRA. So two type of interrupts are there, software interrupt and hardware interrupt. We have seen hardware interrupt in detail. Now software interrupt. So software interrupt, the normal operation of the microprocessor can be interrupted by special instruction. Such interrupts are called as software interrupts. So they are interrupted with the help of instruction or programs. So 8085 provides eight user-defined software interrupt from RST 0 to RST 7, where RST means reset, So it has total 8 software interrupt. And how many hardware interrupt? 5 hardware interrupts. So these 8 software interrupts are vectored interrupt, and when these interrupt are called, they control the control are transferred to the memory location as shown. So whenever the software interrupt is called, so if you are calling RST 0, then it will go to memory location, it will transfer to the memory location 000H in hexadecimal. So RST 0, it will go to 00H. RST 1, it will go to the call location 008. Where there is a subroutine, it will execute that subroutine. Okay. RST2, it will go, the control will transfer to where, which memory location? 0010. RST3, it will transfer to 0018. RST4, 0020. RST5, 0028. RST6, 0030. And RST7, it will go 0038. The software interrupts are not used to handle synchronous events. Okay, they are used to call the software routing like single step, break point, etc. So they are not used in synchronous but in software routines they are called. These interrupts are requested by executing the interrupt instruction. They can also be requested due to arithmetic error. So they are also be requested due to the arithmetic error. After execution of this interrupt, the program counter is increment the microprocessor does not execute any interrupt acknowledgement cycle. The microprocessor execute the normal instruction cycle after executing the software interrupt. This interrupt cannot be ignored or masked. They have more priority than the hardware interrupt because they are within the programs. They are not used to interfere the peripheral. So there is no connection with the peripheral devices. That means they do not do more improve throughout the system. They are used in program debugging. So they are not used throughout the system, but they are used in program debugging. So this was nothing but software interrupts. So we have seen hardware interrupts and software interrupts. So sometimes they may ask you to distinguish between software interrupts and hardware interrupts. So we have seen hardware interrupts and software interrupts. So now let us see what will be the differences between hardware interrupt and software interrupt. Hardware interrupt are used to handle a synchronous event. Okay. Software interrupts are not used to handle a synchronous event. This interrupt are requested by the external devices, which hardware interrupts are requested by the external devices, but software interrupt are requested by executing the interrupt instruction. Clear? Second distinguish between after execution of this interrupt, the program counter is not incremented. Which one? Hardware interrupt. But in software, after execution of this interrupt, the program counter is incremented. Okay. This the microprocessor, the hardware interrupt can be masked, right? Leaving trap, the other interrupt may be masked, they are maskable, but software interrupt cannot be masked or ignored. Okay. Then they have the lowest priority than the software. They are used for they cannot be, they are the highest priority. The software interrupts has the higher priorities than the hardware interrupt. The interrupt affect this interrupt affect on interrupt control logic. Okay, so hardware interrupt affects the interrupt control logic. It improves the throughput of the system. So they are not used to interfere the peripheral devices, right? So these are the distinguish between the hardware and software. So we have seen the interrupts in detail, the hardware interrupt as well as software interrupt. Student, normally the question comes on the hardware interrupt, as I said. So the question comes on hardware interrupt. Many times the software interrupts is not asked frequently, but hardware interrupt is asked. So the question can come that what are the hardware interrupts? Explain vectored and non-vectored interrupt of 8085 microprocessor and their priorities. State their priorities. So hardware interrupt, as I say, is very important. So you should know their priorities, their vectored address, and maskable and non-maskable. Students, so this was the interrupt regarding interrupt. So student, we have seen the remaining 5 pins of 8085, right, with their explanation. Which were their pin? The pin where the reset in pin, reset in bar, it is active low signal. Then we have seen the ready signal, then clock out, then hold, then hold acknowledgement, L HLDA hold acknowledgement, and VCC. So 8085 works on plus 5 volt power supply, right? It requires plus 5 volt, right? So was very important, hold and hold acknowledgement. So hold means it requires the DMA. We talked about DMA. So DMA is nothing but direct memory access. So direct memory access, so it sends a request to microprocessor to release its address and data bus so that it can directly transfer the data from input output devices to memory. Student, so here we have seen, we have completed the pin diagram of 8085. It has a 40 pin. You should know all this pin and you should know the function of this pins, right? So very important. Then I have discussed all the pins, which topics are the hardware interrupts are important. Then addressing, then we have seen the IO mapped IO memory mapped IO scheme. So here we came to the end of microprocessor introduction to microprocessor and organization of 8085. 85 session 5. Students, thank you.